All right, let's talk about Daniel Jones. Won't be talking too much about what went right in this game because not a lot went right in this game. This is definitely a what the hell happened type of performance. And I want to say this right off the top. If you're a podcast fan, there's kind of been this rivalry between the Giants fans in the chat and me. I personally thought last year the Giants were kind of a fluke, and I felt like this year they weren't going to be very good. I've also been critical of Daniel Jones, although, again, I've never necessarily said he's like a trash player or anything, just not a $40 million player, which I think is fair. So I feel like I should just get my, that right off the bat. That being said, I think, even me, the number one Giants hater, I suppose, did not see a 40-0 blowout coming. So let's talk about just what went wrong and maybe what are the upsides for the future, of which I think there are some. Starting off with this play, man coverage, and you see the concept on your screen. You have two receivers running kind of, deeper layers down the field. Let's see how it works out. Jones is going to take the snap. He's going to eventually look over in that direction, and you see that really it wasn't perfectly ran by the Giants. You'd like to have either one a lot shallower or one a lot further, and there's a little bit of contact that slowed one of them down. Slew isn't a word. Slowed one of them down to the point where they're basically right next to each other, which isn't ideal, but still, there is a window to make this throw. Daniel Jones just misses it, quite frankly. I mean, part of me wondered, okay, was there some sort of communication factor there? I don't think so. I don't think that was just a miscommunication. I think that he just missed it because he already saw the receiver cutting before it happened. So, no, I think that play was, just a missed throw, and we definitely saw Jones, I thought, not have his best day. Again, I'm not saying Jones is the perfect quarterback, but he also, I think, is usually better than how he played on Sunday. Like this one's another one where it's going to be a pretty simple concept, something the Giants like to do a lot, where, I think one thing that kind of caused the issues to get worse is they, went down right away, obviously, right? I mean, you had by the time the Cowboys were in their second drive, they were already up 16-0. So for the Giants, who like to run the ball a lot and run play actions, kind of have that be their game, they kind of had to go, they felt like they had to go away with it a little bit because of that, and I do think that kind of made the issues worse instead of better. You get more possessions that way, but if you're scoring on less of them, it doesn't really help you. But this play, okay, classic Giants play. We're kind of using the threat of the run to hopefully set something up. And as you see for Jones, he does, run this play action, scrambles out towards the top of the screen, and you have an open player right here. So, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Well, Jones is going to miss the throw. And again, this is one of those, did he expect the receiver to just sit at a certain point? I don't know why you would. Maybe that's how you want to do it, but I actually agree. You want to see the receiver continue to coast towards the top of the screen. To me, that's just, again, it's a missed throw, and, it's okay. It was a bad weather game. It is fair to say, I made some excuses for Joe Burrow saying it was a bad weather game. It's fair to make those same excuses for Jones. In fact, I'm willing to believe that's probably what it was. And in fact, let's make some more excuses for Daniel Jones, why don't we? Because you know me, I'm Daniel Jones' number one defender. What's going to happen here is, so this is going to be a fascinating play, I would say, where it's going to start off with, not a lot going on for Jones. Doesn't love what he sees right away. Could have thrown it quickly, but instead scrambles out a little bit. Giants doing a good job at not letting Jones beat them with his legs. Daniel Jones' legs, a huge part of who he is. He uses his legs very effectively. So, I think the Cowboys gave up a couple of runs on that first drive. For the most part, didn't allow Jones to do too much after that. Jones looks down the field, and, I kind of understand what he sees here. Let the receiver come towards the sticks. Hopefully you can get, the first down on this play. You're down in the football game. Take some chances. I don't hate it, but watch what his receiver does. His receiver comes back, but then stops, which allows the Dallas defender to step in front and get the interception. This was one that Jones was getting a lot of criticism for. I actually kind of understand what he did. I think that, as a receiver, you do have to continue going back towards the ball. At the end of the day, though, you do have to have that communication down 100%. You have to have the communication down, and you have to understand what your receiver is going to do. So that's on everybody. That's on the receiver. That's on Jones. That's on the head coach. You got to know what's going to happen. And also, the other interception, I mean, this was just fluky. I don't hold this against Jones at all. This is not a turnover-worthy play. We'll watch how Jones is going to take the snap right here, and he's going to just, make a completion basically that gets batted up and intercepted and returned for a touchdown. And this is just what caused things to go off the rails, right? They were already down multiple scores. This just made it a disaster early on. And then from that point, they changed their strategy and things went off the rails. So like, listen, I think the Dallas Cowboys are a better team than the Giants for sure. That's to me not even a question. I kind of expected this game to be a blowout actually going in. But when you go down, 3 scores right away, well then yeah, it's going to be worse and the issues are going to kind of compile on each other. To me, I kind of feel like this is a bit of a burn the tape game. I know that's not why everyone clicks on this video. I'm sure there's a lot of Cowboys and Eagles and Washington fans who are ready to see me, rip into the Giants. But listen, I don't overreact to stuff. That's kind of what I do. I always have probably a more mild reaction than a lot of fans do. So, that's just kind of how my, how I view things. I tend to try to not at least overreact. And you know what? Let's end this with a positive, why don't we? So here's the concept. It's going to be a man coverage play. That's what Dallas is doing right here. And again, it makes sense. A lot of teams did this last year to the Giants. They don't really have receivers who can get open. And so far through one game, that doesn't appear to be that different. Watch how when Jones takes the snap, he is going to scramble outside the pocket and is able to do it this time. Like I said, legs are a huge part of his game. And what's interesting is that when a halfback ran out, the player who's covering the halfback is now in a situation where it's that classic dilemma. Do you run out and tackle Daniel Jones, or do you stay back and cover the receiver, but let Jones try to, run? Well, he's going to say, let's see if Jones, let's force him to make the throw here, especially given how some of these missed throws are going. But it's actually going to be a different player it's the guy who I've now circled in white. He's the guy who's really going to be the guy that Jones is throwing to. He's not throwing to the halfback because the halfback doesn't have his back turned. So it's good field vision by Daniel Jones to notice this stuff, even though he is under pressure. And as you see, makes an accurate throw, they're able to pick up the first down. So Daniel Jones was secretly awesome in this game. Okay, no, I'm kidding. He was bad. No one's denying that. This was not a good Daniel Jones performance, 100%. But at the same time, I don't know if it's as bad as, these kind of games happen. It's basically my point. It was a disaster, but to me, I don't look at this and say the Giants are going to get crushed every single game. In fact, I think if the Giants and Cowboys played each other again, we're getting a completely different game, and we'll see that when they do play each other again. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya, and of course, as always, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, one more thing I can't believe I forgot to mention. Obviously, the offensive line was terrible. Jones was under pressure the whole time as well. Didn't show an example of that, but that was also something I noticed. But yeah, anyway, bye.